So let's initially check in. So you can either do the check-in seated, kneeling, seated in a chair, or lying down in Shavasana. So first of all, just check your areas of tension. Maybe it's the shoulders or jaw. Maybe it's your fingers. Maybe if you're lying down, your feet are too close together and your hip area is quite tight. So relaxing as much as possible, and especially relaxing the face. First of all, let's check in at the level of the mind. Let's see what the mind is doing. Seeing where the mind goes, what the mind is thinking, as best you can. So this will be one of the unusual yoga classes where there'll be background noise of sheep, seagulls, and maybe even some people in the next boat. Who knows? And there'll be fenders squeaking because we're moored up on a pontoon. It's a lovely summer's evening. Nice blue sky. And then let's just see how we're feeling emotionally this evening. No judgment, just how are we? We don't have to be anything, just noticing exactly how we are. And then checking in at the level of the body. This wonderful body of ours. How is it doing in this moment? Are you being kind enough to those areas of the body that are feeling a little bit wonky? Painful? Can you commit to giving them more loving attention? Doing what you need to take care of them. Okay, and then let's move the awareness to the breath, noticing the breath. Noticing the body being breathed. Notice how the body moves when it's being breathed. This body in this moment. And then bringing the awareness to the breath, the body, the emotions, and the mind. Noticing all those levels simultaneously, if possible. This is how you are in this moment. And then noticing the floor beneath you on your mat, and noticing the air around you, space. And here we are, in the present moment. So let's bring the legs to parallel to each other. Just move the toes towards. And then that's breathing in, stretch the arms behind the head. So stretch, stretch, stretch. Stretch the right side, the left is back. Let's move on. Just feel how much the body really moves. You're pushing your heels away, you're elongating your arms out of the shoulder joint for both the belly. And then point the toes away, take the arms a bit further if you can. Gentle with the shoulder joints, just in case that you need to stay. Pointing the toes away. And then place your right foot on the floor, bending the knee, and left foot on the floor, bending the knee, and bring the knees towards you. Holding up the knees, gently. And then rotating the knees in circles. Okay, and then bring the knees up tight, pulling in tight, pressure eyes against the other side. Any choices, you can either cross the ankles, hold on to the big toes, roll up around your mat, rocking, or you can just roll over onto one side and come up. So I'm hoping the sound is okay. It's a bit windy here, fingers crossed. So when you come up, I'd like you, if you have a cushion or something, you could place that under your sitting bones and sit in easy Sukhasana and just roll the shoulders back. Nice shoulder pose. Okay, and then place the arms out and do quite wide circles. Lovely. Rock the shoulders as you do it. Don't you can help it. You might get intense. And then shoulder circles the other way. And this should feel as if you're really, really working muscles in there, which you are. And then hands straight up, facing each other, and then breathing out together. Down to the heart, and just pausing for a moment. Close the eyes, lift the crown of the head upwards. Drop the shoulders if you can. Release the jaw. Release. And then release the hands down onto the knees. The elbows in, onto the shoulders. The head lifting upwards, but the chin slightly down so you've got a nice long open. Good. And so from there, I'm going to come up to standing. So I might need to move the screen further back once I'm standing. Yeah, I do. So coming up to standing into the mountain position. A slight angle so that you get the background. So bring the feet underneath the hip joint and relax the hands down. So nice, solid Tadasana. And then can you place the hands onto the hips and do the hip rotations? Now, if that feels a little bit unsteady, you'll move the feet apart. So you've got better big circles. And then the other way. Okay, nice big circles. And then from side to side. This always feels rather easy, but it's one of those things that's so beneficial. Good. And then what I'd like you to do is come back to the mountain. Do the rocket. So breathe in. If there is a splash, that's breathing in, hands go up, arms together, elongate upwards, so the face is facing forward. Your feet are hopefully underneath your hip joint. Stretch up as though you're a rocket going up into the heavens. Way, 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 way. Breathing out, take the hands down to shoulder level. If you have something to hold on to, it might be helpful to do that. So going to do a balance pose. Since I'm on a moving policy, I might actually do this. And then I bring up your left foot into inside of your right thigh. My husband is just joining me on the. Unfortunately, his mat has just changed the screen. I'll just adjust that. Okay, so we're doing a balance pose. And I'd like you to do the full tree with the hands upwards, if you can. And the knees are going out at a right angle, and the tailbone is tucked in. And drop the tailbone down whilst bringing the fingers up to the heavens. And if you feel unsteady, you can come down to spreading the arms, spreading the tree. Breathing out all the way down back to steady. we're going to do the tree side. So that was the left leg. This time, can we take the right? Place it up into the left. Right. Full spread the tree, rounding that left foot deep into the earth. Elbow under. Remember, use the support if you need it. Okay, and then breathing out, coming down, and just pausing. And I'd like you to do the opposite knee to elbow lift, just to mobilize. We could do this more often. You could do this every day. You could sort of always do it every time you go to a sitting room. Okay, good. And then shake out. Stand again in the tree. So I know I've said this before. The tree is the mountain is nice, steady, stable. Helps ground you and bring you into equilibrium. So even though it looks incredibly small, you think, why am I just standing? It's effectively bringing us into emotional, mental, psychological, spiritual, physical balance. We think of ourselves rooted deep into the earth. And then if you can move behind. So what I'd like to do next is to do a side stretch. So if you've got socks on, just taking your socks off. And we're going to do the triangle. It's nice, well-known pose, too difficult to do. So let's do the triangle absolutely precisely. Let's think of the heel is just where the extent is there. One foot is at right angles to begin with the other foot, almost like a ballet position. And then you step your leg length along the mat, like so. And look, check, is that actually about your leg length, or maybe even a bit longer. And then the check is to bring in the left, or the right foot going, facing away from me. Bring my left toes in a little. And then place the hands just for a moment on the hips and bend that front knee so it's going over the right foot, where that second toe is next to the big toe. So that's the angle we want for the pelvis. It's not to do with the triangle, we don't bend the knee, but it's just I want to know where the pelvis is. So stand straight, bring the arms up, keep the pelvis exactly where it was when we were bending the knee, lift the rib cage up, and over we go. So go over along that right foot. The left arm goes up. Try to keep that right knee straight if you can. Breathing into it. If you can't see very well, I'll move a bit more so you can see me with the sky behind you. So breathing into that. And if you want to, you can look up to the heavens and you can push your left hip further away towards your left foot. You can also take that left arm over the left ear, stretch it in the direction the right foot is pointing, and make it a seated, long, strong twist. What we're aiming for is a lovely left side stretch from the ankle all the way through the left armpit down to the left fingers. Nice and strong. Okay, and then breathing in, going up. And the front knee, place your elbow on it and push yourself up. So no strain to the back. And just bring the feet to the front. Breathe out and lower the arms, okay? And then come together and just shake out. I think I'm going to change the lighting, because I don't think you can actually see
The sun's coming in.
too well. That we call it into the sea. Get my shadow behind me. There's more contrast, yes. Okay, there's more contrast. That's good. Okay, so this time it's going to be the left foot coming away and the right foot going behind. And that left foot, you can see where it's going over that front foot. That's where your hip needs to be, and then straighten up. Breathe in, arms parallel, lengthen from the crown of the head, lift the rib cage up and over your left leg, and arm going straight up. And bring the toes slightly in at the back. Okay. Looking up if you can, all the way up. Holding the pose. So you might find that either of your knee joints bend slightly. Maybe they don't, but trying to keep the legs softly straight. And then if you wish, going into a Theta Trikonasana asana where you lengthen the arm over your right ear, but your right ear is above your left knee. You've got that nice long side stretch again. And really push that right hip away from you if you can. Well, breathing in.
Hello, out. Oh, she's back. Maybe she doesn't know the sounds off.
My sound should now be on. Yes, no?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you hear me or not? Can you hear me or not?
You can now, yes. Yes, she disappeared before.
I know, if I disappear, keep doing the yoga
Your
poses.
bandwidth is low on here.
Hear me? Doing the poses I've just suggested. And in a few minutes, my bandwidth should come back on. Can you still hear me? That's all I need to know.
Yes, can hear you now.
Yes. Can I continue then? Can I continue?
Yes, yeah.
Leaning forward from the pose, lowering down.
Oh, I think you're frozen.
It might be your end, Therese, because on my end, I can see you flickering a lot. So hold on, I'm going to stop the whole thing. I'm going to stop recording. Oh no, if I stop recording, the whole thing's lost. Therese, is your bandwidth low? My bandwidth is high.
Low. Yeah, it's frozen for me. Caroline's very clear. She's moving.
No, I'm just not moving. I don't think it's frozen. Okay, I'm going to continue, Therese, and it'll come and go. Just accept this might be the kind of yoga class it is this evening. But whatever you do, don't panic. Okay.
Okay, we're not panicking.
All right, we're continuing. So coming from the forward bend, I'd like you to come up to the squat. So squatting down as low as you can with the feet out and the hands at the heart level. Okay, nice low squat. And even if you can't hear me, maybe you can see me. I'm not sort of moving very much. It might look like I'm frozen. But at the moment, we're just in a deep squat. And pushing the ankle out. So if you find a squat difficult, you can always sit on a couple of cushions or a couple of blocks so that you're doing it as best you can. And then I'd like you to lean over onto one side and stretch one leg out. So I'm stretching my right leg out. Okay. And my toes and my knees are pointing out. This is 12 o'clock straight in front of me. My knees and my toes are pointing at 10 o'clock. Okay. And my right foot is pointing away, probably at about 2 o'clock, right toes. Okay. And I think you're going to realize what we're going to do next. So the right toes come in. Okay. And then you swing over and the other foot comes out. Okay. So I've got my left foot out now. My right knee is bent. And again, you can do this sitting on a block, just doing some hip opening here. Okay. And then when you've done that for about the same amount of time, bring the feet back into the squat. Some people can do it up with the heels up, or put the heels on blocks. Some people can do this squat with the heels down. Depends on your hip, the way your hip joint works. Okay, back into the deep squat. Hands in namaste if possible. And then bringing the knees together, okay, to come down to seated and stretch the legs wide out. So you've got the toes coming towards you. Lovely. The toes coming towards you, and I'd like you to breathe in and take the arms out so that the arms are doing Maltese cross but high. Okay. And then lift again the rib cage away from the pelvis and leaning forward, take the feet over the toes. So we're now coming down into a very strong forward bend, seated wide leg forward bend. Just see if you can check the shoulders, relax the shoulders, bring the toes a little bit more towards you and release the head. Okay, so you may feel strain on the lower back. That's so. You can wiggle and jiggle the pelvis a little. You can come up a little, don't go down so deeply. Just feeling your way into it as gently as possible. Okay, and then breathing in, coming up, hands opening up, long, open the stretch. Lovely, take the palms downwards now. I'd like you to take the palms behind you and bring the feet onto you. And what would be nice to do now is to do the backwards plank. So the toes that are in front of you, these toes here, they're coming down towards the ground as you lift the pelvis up. Okay, and then you try to see if you can lift the pelvis so that you're in line, ankles, pelvis, crown of the head. And the hands, there's lots of discussion about how the hands should be in this plank. But basically, I would put them where they feel comfortable and not hurting your wrists. Sensible to me. And if you find it hard, you can come down a little. Okay, so if you're seated like that with the legs straight out, okay. All right, and what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to bend one knee in and just see if that's comfortable. And if it's uncomfortable, putting a cushion underneath on one side. Okay, so like so. And bring the toes towards you. These toes now towards you. Maybe one toe in so you can see. Like so, yeah. And straighten up. So you've got your right knee bent, right hand on right knee. And I'm not recording anymore, guys, because I can't record without it going wonky. So you're all right. You can chat away to me to your heart's content. Your toes coming towards you on the left toes. And then, oh, that noise in the background, I have no idea what it is, but anyway. Rotate your shoulders behind you. Rotate your shoulders behind you and lengthen up. So you're leaning over this left leg and bring the right arm up and right arm over. Nice long stretch. Okay, and again, if the back feels a little bit iffy, just lengthen the spine and reach over. Lengthen the spine and reach over. Think of the crown of the head, lengthening the spine and reaching over. Okay, and then breathing into it, breathing into it. And these side stretches are just wonderful, really, really super for the internal organs and of course for the spinal column. So breathing in, coming up, breathing out, bringing the arms down and then swapping sides. And the heel comes in. So I've now got my left heel in and my right leg is stretched out. So I'll swing to the other side, pontoon, so you can see my foot. Breathing in, going up. Bring your left hand down to your left knee for a moment. Bring your right hand down to your right toes for a moment and just lengthen up as we did on the other side. Lengthening, lengthening. And then left hand goes up and over we go. So we've got that lovely left side stretch. Okay, and technically, in theory, don't worry about it. The left fingers are meant to be coming down to the right toes. So breathing into that. Okay, and then when you feel you've had enough, it's probably about now, pushing with your right hand so that you come up and breathing out, bringing the hands down. And then both legs out wide and just rub along the legs as much as possible. Rubbing along the legs. Okay, and bringing the toes towards you. Lovely, and then rub inside the inner part of the legs. Okay, and then the outer part of the legs. Cool. Lovely, and then bring the legs straight. So you've got them straight in front of you. Right, and then breathing in, going up. the arms. You know what's going to happen. It's a forward bend. But before we do the forward bend, could you wiggle and jiggle from the hips and lengthen the rib cage away from your hips, and breathing out, coming down over the feet and lowering down gently, gently, gently. So I don't know about you guys, but I find this one quite difficult because I've got to widen out my shoulder blades and I'm lowering my elbows down towards the outside of my knees. At the same time, I'm gingerly, but not too enthusiastically, lengthening the crown of my head towards my feet, tucking my chin into my chest. Breathing, breathing into that. Slowly breathing out, coming down, slowly breathing out, coming down. And remember, these are soothing poses, these forward bends, nice and soothing and relaxing. Okay, and then when you've had enough, just slide the hands up, keeping the toes coming towards you, not pointing away from you. Keep bringing the toes in towards you as much as possible. Okay, and relaxing and putting the hands by the sides of the hips. Okay, so this pose is not my favorite pose. Some people love it. I find it very difficult. So the toes are coming towards you. The hands are by your hips, fingers facing forward. And technically you push through the hands as though you're going to lift your hips off the ground. Right. And in some yoga books, they say, yes, the entire legs lift off the ground. I haven't managed to do that yet. I can do it if I put 2 blocks under both. Okay, but it's mainly pushing, bringing the toes towards you, pushing the hands down, lengthening the arms, lifting the neck out of the whole of the spine and crown of the head coming upwards. Lovely. Breathe into it, breathe into it. Hopefully nice long belly. Whatever you do, don't bring the chin up, okay? Keep the chin down to the back of the neck as well. Lovely, and then release out a bit. And let's just do some wrist work. So take the wrists up and down. So we've done the inverted plank and we've done that pose where a lot of wrist work. So moving the wrist from side to side and up and down. Side to side again, down, side to side again, up and down. And then just rub around them, okay? And then make fists of the hands and rotate. Good. And then we're going to do some churning work. So take the legs out again. And I'd like you to clasp the hands, familiar clasp, and do big, stirring the pot. Stirring the pot. So good for your pelvis, so good for the spine, and wonderful for the internal organs. So really stretching as far as your hands can go. Stretch, stretch, stretch. So I'm going at the moment clockwise, if the clock face was lying on the floor. And then I'm going now anti-clockwise. Big turns, big turns, big turns, okay? That's lovely. And then at the end of that one, with your hands stretched out, just lowering again the shoulders and the forehead, almost as though you wanted to bring the elbows down to the floor. So lowering, lowering, lowering. And breathing out as you lower a bit more. Breathe in, pause. Breathe out as you lower a bit more. Breathing into it. So it'll be interesting where it particularly is hard for you, easing into that. And of course, if it feels too difficult, bring the hands closer towards you and don't go down quite so deeply. Breathing into it. And then after a while, take the hands back out to the feet. So left hand on left foot, right arm and right foot, and you're still coming down low into that forward bend. And then slide the hands up the legs. So you've done lots of forward bend work, and as you know, if you're doing lots of forward bend work, it's a good idea to do some back arches the opposite way. So what I'd like us to do is I'd like us to do the cobra. So make sure you've got your mat somewhere comfortable. We're going to lie down on our tummy. Coming down into a quite comfortable cobra, and the fingers are underneath the shoulders. Tuck the elbows in, breathing in, going up, and really arching the back the opposite way, a back arch. So the elbows are tucked in, the face is facing the front, the feet, backs of the tops of the feet are on the floor. You're lifting the sternum so it's facing the front. And then it probably gets a bit tiring, so just come down and pause, however you'd like to pause. Maybe hands resting one on top of the other, chin resting on the hands, breathing, just enjoying nothing for a moment, because we're going to go into the cobra Bhujangasana once more. So let's go up again into the cobra. So pulling the hands back under the shoulders, so the fingertips are just peeping out if you're looking up above. Elbows tucked in, legs parallel, tops of the feet on the floor, and then chin along the mat. Up you come. First of all, no weight through the hands, and then lift and push through the hands and looking forward. Lifting up and looking forward. Nice and steady. Breathing into this. Okay, so you only go up as far as you feel is okay for your back. And you stay for as long as is okay for your back. Right. And then when you come down this time, I'd like you to go into the crocodile. So you take your legs out wide, 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 wide. And the insides of the feet are on the surface of the floor. The hands, your right fingers on your right shoulder and your left fingers on your left shoulder, and just let your chin rest on the cross section. And breathing into that. Sleeping crocodiles lying in the hut. Okay, and then bring the legs back to parallel to each other, tops of the feet on the floor, and place the forehead on the floor. Okay, think about the feet coming up off the floor, so raising up. The beginning of the locust position, where the legs raise up. That. And then bring the forehead up off the floor and slide the hands into like a sphinx position with the fingers facing forwards. Bring the shoulder blades together and down. Legs hopefully a little bit up off the floor. Lovely, lovely compression of the back of the discs and the lower middle back. And then breathing out. Down, we're not staying in too long, we're doing little, but we're doing quite. So pausing again. And we'll do that one more time. So legs up, slide the elbows, tuck them under. Into Sphinx arm position with the forearms parallel, drop the shoulders, shoulder blades together and down. Forward. Pressure around the pelvis, pubic bone. Breathing into that. Lovely. 2 more seconds if you can. Breathing out, coming down. Pausing, resting. And then we're going to do hands back, flying locust, arms facing downwards, and they're out sides a little. And then bring the legs up. So flying locust. Again, lovely compression of the discs in the lower back and the mid part of the back. Forward. So good, especially for our very sedentary lifestyles. Breathing into that. And if you're anything like me, the shoulders try to creep towards the ears, push them down towards the hips. And then to finish, drop the legs, swing the hands forward, and just go into the Sphinx for a moment, with the elbows underneath the shoulders and the palms downwards on the floor, looking forward. Okay, lovely. Now we need to do a little bit of counter work. So bring the hands back past the ribs and come up into the cat pose. So I'm just going to turn around. Okay. Into cat pose. So you've got your knees under your hips and your hands under your shoulders, and you're facing the face, front of the face, facing the floor. Pausing into that. Breathing, breathing, checking that you feel nice and steady. So nice, steady table. If you can do Mula Bandha, pulling up Mula Bandha. And if you can do the belly lift, slightly pulling in around the belly. Okay, lengthen the back of the neck. Keep breathing. And then we'll go into the cat stretches. So first of all, breathe in, look up, and bring the tailbone up. And you allow the back to go into that hammock shape, and then breathing out, going down into the bridge shape, head down, chin tucked in, tucking the pelvis under, breathing in the opposite way, hammock shape, shoulders away from ears if you can, breathing out, bridge shape. Okay, just keep going on the breath, breathing in, up, breathing out, down. So keep going. I'm just stopping for a moment because my hair is banging against my AirPods. I'm going to move my hair out of the way. And I love this one because it's nice and rhythmic with breath. You can really concentrate on each vertebra of the spine, moving, rippling through as you bend the spine one way and the other. So just keep moving. Okay, and then when you've done about 2 more repetitions, stay up in one of the poses, perhaps stay up in the hammock shape. Yeah, so really opening upwards, nice steady hammock, lovely. And just really feel, if you can, the front of your belly, and tilt your pelvis and tilt your tailbone further upwards, and open out the front of the throat as you look upwards. Lovely. And then breathing out, let's go the other way. Take the chin in, chin lock, face lock, if you can, abdominal. So Mahabandha, nice strong bridge. Okay, and then from that bridge, I'd like you to lean back, widen out the knees, lean back onto your feet, and push your hands forward, walking your fingers away, forward to the floor, open out the shoulder blades, pause and breathe in a long swan, swan stretch. Just relaxing into it. Okay. And then where your fingers are, reach to the end of your mat if you can, so you can start curling it up towards you, the pad under the head, because we're going to roll onto the top of the head. Bring the knees in, clasp the hands behind the head, and lift the hands up. So it's a semi-headstand, semi-inverted. Really stretching the shoulders. Okay. You can see why you need padding for the head. There's quite a lot of weight going through the crown of the head. And then releasing the hands down to either side of the head and push and come up so that you're then in kneeling pose. And if kneeling pose is really uncomfortable, remember you can put blocks on your heels. Okay, and you can sit back, you can put the hands flat on the thighs and roll the shoulders back again. Okay, and then roll the shoulders forward, and then roll the shoulders up towards the ears. Warm up and down, up and down, up and down. And then hands unfamiliar clasp behind you. Hold the hands together, pull the shoulders back. Okay, relax the shoulders down, breathing into that. Nice and steady. Doing anything with the hands at the moment, we're just pulling and widening right across the heart chakra here. So it's almost like we're bringing the shoulders together at the back. Breathing into that. Opening the heart center. Nice and wide open at the front. And then I'd like you to tentatively try lifting the arms upwards behind you whilst keeping a nice upright spine. Release down, relax for a moment, and then we'll try it one more time. So breathing in, going up, forward, breathing out, releasing down, bring the hands onto the knees, crown of the head lifting. Okay, so we're doing a very traditional kneeling pose, crown of the head lifting, chin slightly down. And remember, you know, if kneeling is difficult, you can sit on lots and lots of blocks. And you can also have the legs going forward. Okay, and then if you're uncomfortable, move your legs so that you're sitting or kneeling comfortably, because we're just going to do a twist from kneeling pose. But if you don't like it from kneeling, you can do cross-legged. But from kneeling, it looks like this. You take your left hand over to your right knee. You take your right hand round to the back. Watch the head. There's a tendency with this to let that chin go really high up. So I'd recommend lowering the head. Okay, feel as though you're lowering it. So the back of the neck feels that nice wide, long length to it. And then what I'd like you to do is breathe in, lengthen from the crown, all the way from the tailbone up to the crown of the head, and then breathing out, begin to turn. And you can use the back hand can be holding on, say, to your big toe or to your foot, and the left hand can be on that knee, pivoting you round. And you're just trying to do as best to stretch as you can as you turn. Okay, so you're looking over your right shoulder, breathing into that. So a lovely compression of the right kidney area, liver area, ascending colon. Breathing, breathing, breathing into that. An expansion across the lung area too. And because these twists are difficult to get into, each in-breath we're lengthening up and each out-breath we're trying a little bit further round. Try to stay in it just that little bit longer than most poses. Drop the shoulders. If the shoulders feel again like they're keeping up. And then breathing out, coming round to the front. And you probably really feel that in your spine, that wonderful, wonderful twist. And just pause there. It's really important when we've done this strong work along the spinal column, the vertebra of the spine, that we don't move fast into doing the opposing pose, because we need everything just to settle a little. So we're back in the interim pose of kneeling with the crown, lifting, letting the spine, the discs, the muscles along the back just settle. Blood supply has been rushing in there. Discs can absorb. Benefits can be taken deeper into the whole being. Okay, and so now let's do it the opposite way. So your right hand is going to go down to the outside of your left knee, and your left hand this time is going around the back. So wherever it can, touch around the back. I'm actually holding on to one of my big toes. Be careful not to lean, ever so easy to lean. So it's trying to stay as upright as possible. And as we breathe in, the crown lifts, shoulders keep them down. And as we breathe out, we use the right hand, push against that left knee, and we can tug on our right foot, and we're actually squidging ourselves or wringing out the body, like we bring out a cloth as we do this twist. And then the head, the neck area, got no maneuvering to help with that. So really just turning, thinking of the chin, the head turning to get us a maximum twist in that area of the neck. Breathing into it. Breathing in, lifting from the crown. As the crown, the whole spine will sag if we forget. Just keep twisting. Each in-breath lengthening, each out-breath twisting further around. And then see if you can just enjoy the pose while still. All right, Bill. That's a squig in your neck, right, Bill? And try rubbing it, which is what Bill is doing. That's extra brownie points within himself. Okay, and then breathing out, now we come to the front. Again, pausing, but this time, as we pause and let everything sort itself out and absorb benefits, try rolling the shoulders back and see if that helps then relax the hands onto the thighs. Okay, close the eyes for a moment. Just breathing into that. Lovely. So Caroline asked us to do some breathing work. So what I recommend is, first of all, if you've got a tissue nearby, I would recommend blowing your nose thoroughly. Okay, you got a tissue, Bill? Okay, Bill has got his handkerchief. Oh, the sun has set behind the hill. And it's gone a little bit darker. If you're getting cold too, if you've got socks on, I would recommend putting your socks on. I've only got little itsy ditsy bitsy socks, but hey. Okay, so for doing breathing work, I would recommend sitting however you feel comfortable, always. It's excellent to sit on a chair as long as you're not leaning back, because we want that. It's not just the spinal column nice in its natural curved state upright, but we also want the lungs in their natural upright. We don't want them collapsing back either. So has everybody sneezed and coughed sufficiently? Yes? Yes. Have you sneezed and coughed sufficiently? So has Bill. Okay. I'm the only one who didn't really. I'll just have to hope I'm okay because I've got no hanky. Right. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to press the index and middle finger against the right nostril. Okay. And just breathe in and out for a moment through the left nostril. And this will give you a sense of where your sinuses, if they are blocked, where they're blocked, which nostril, or which nostril you're actually breathing predominantly from. Okay, and then index and middle finger of the other hand, swap over, and just breathe through now your right nostril. Now it's much easier for me on my right nostril, so I think my right nostril is a bit dominant. Okay, then breathe through both. Check if you need to blow your nose again, clear your nostrils. And just to help, I would like us to do, before we do alternate nostril breathing, I'd like us to do, which is fast breathing, fast fire breathing. And basically what you're doing is, but fast, you're using your lungs as a bellow and you're doing it as fast as you can. When you start feeling dizzy, stop. Please don't fake black out on me, okay? So you're just through the nostrils, both nostrils, same time. And then breathe out, let go. Whoa, I might feel a little bit dizzy. And you can breathe out through the mouth, breathe in through the nostrils, out through the mouth, through the nostrils, out through the mouth. And prepare for alternate nostril breathing. So the big finger, thumb, big finger and thumb, and the dominant hand closes. So my dominant hand is my right, so my thumb will be closing my right nostril. Breathe in through the left, close both nostrils and breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right. Swap nostrils to breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left. Close, breathe out through the right. So every time you're breathing out, breathe in through the right, you're swapping nostrils. On an out breath, breathe out the opposite side. So keep going with your own breathing rhythm. Just remember to swap nostrils when you're breathing out. Breathe out, breathe in, same side, swap nostrils, breathe out, breathe in, same side, swap nostrils when you breathe out. In, swap nostrils when you breathe out. Nostrils when you breathe out. In, swap nostrils when you breathe out. Swap nostrils when you breathe out. Keep going nice and rhythmically. Calming the system down, soothing the system. You can see why it's nice to sit comfortably doing this, because you're being distracted by knee pain, back's beginning to ache. Okay, and then releasing you go. Lower the hands and just pause in a comfortable seated position and let both nostrils breathe normally.